Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Dicing with Death. Ryan, how are you doing today?
Doing well, doing well. You didn't tell me we were going live right then. I was all ready to hop in with my own version of the recap.
Well.
In my best British accent, but I guess we missed out.
Oh, no British accent, Ryan. Well, next time, guys. Well, that's it for today's Dicing with Death.
What? We'll probably throw the recap up as like a
YouTube video when we get it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there was no recap today. We had technical problems.
You talk about technical problems, but it was just a typo. It was an 8 instead of a 9. Well, I don't even know.
There was a malfunctioning link, or a properly functioning link that was the wrong one. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to put it all under technical difficulties. So no recap this week.
Much more mysterious.
Yeah. Trying to build mystery, man. So why don't we do a soft recap instead? Last week was a lot of bookkeeping.
Yeah, it's mostly bookkeeping. We tied up the Red Shield storyline, headed back to Misty Rapids, collected some bones for skeletons.
Yeah, that was kind of a big deal here. So let's talk about the bone skeletons for a moment.
Yeah, well, they don't exist yet. Well, now there's just a pile of knoll bones sitting in my shed.
Right, but you've gathered up knoll bones from the knolls that you and Kel Greller defeated.
Yeah, and
with the help of a local townsman, dragged them back to Misty Rapids, and you're going to bronze plate them all, and then raise them as
poor man's bronze golems.
Yes, so you'll have like what? We didn't even decide the AC of those, but it's going to be...
I would assume bronze plate mail at least, which is like a 2.
Yeah. So AC 18 skeletons.
Could even give them shields.
Maybe, yeah. And raise those. Then on top of that, there was a message from Vanessa that...
Yes, that was the big point and what we'll be dealing with today. Right?
That Cauldron, the nearby town just to the west of Misty Rapids, whose ruler is maybe a little bit unstable. We'll say a little bit more than a little bit unstable. Blames Georg for the death of his wife, who was the person that was invited to the estate that Georg burned down.
Sounds fair, but I don't even know where he's getting his information from. Were there any survivors? Apparently.
Well, that's something you can look into later, how he got his information.
Yeah.
If he survives. So apparently there is a full-blown army about to invade Misty Rapids, originating from like 28 miles away.
Well, we'll see about that. It takes time to raise banners.
Oh yeah, but the word that you've gotten is that he has already been raising banners.
Yeah.
And that he's already got mercenaries in addition to his banners.
But it's been, well, yeah, I think that's what we'll investigate in the first segment here. And then there will be blood, I think. I don't know that there's any avoiding this. Sounds like Cauldron's dead set on war, and Lord Song is going to take advantage of the situation. I guess if Cauldron breaks the peace, then he's at right to just march on in there and claim whatever lands he wants.
Yep. Something like that. Or I think as he put it, we can just march in there, sack this town, and then give it back and just take the loot from the sacking. I believe that's what he said his plan was.
And here poor Georg is caught in the middle of all these politics.
So,
oh, that's good. Nightbeer in chat says, after I sack Cauldron, rename it Carldron.
All right, let's hop into game. It is Wednesday the 8th of June.
All right.
It is morning. Last night was the plans from Vanessa.
Okay. So we didn't recap these details, but I believe we've set about gathering craftsmen in addition to maybe warriors. I don't remember whose song was initially gathering, but I said, hey, let's build some engines of war and bring on the carpenters. So I don't know how much time we'll have, but we may be able to put together another ballista or a catapult or defenses. And so I assume that's going on without me needing to get involved.
Yeah, I'm just going to look up how long it takes to make these things. Did we ever figure that out?
We did at one point figure out how long it took to build a ballista.
It was in a rule book somewhere, right? We didn't make it up?
Yeah. Yeah, it might have been in... I'll check combat and tactics, but it might have been in...
Looking in combat and tactics right now.
It may have been in the castle building guide. Anyone in chat happen to know?
Not seeing construction times.
It might also be under the engineering proficiency. But this seems like a... Well, I guess we want to get this going as soon as possible. No. I swear there was a table somewhere that had... Yeah, 2 weeks... Someone in chat saying 2 weeks? Where are you getting 2 weeks? A week or two? Yeah. I think it was about... I thought it was a week for the ballista. And then a catapult would be more. No, chat's just making things up. I appreciate the effort, guys. Need page numbers. Proper citations. Use MLA format. All right.
I'm open up the castle guide.
All right. In the meantime, I guess I'll scheme out loud. I do want to get better intelligence, which may involve scrying, clairvoyance, clairaudience to see if I can figure out what's going on in and around Cauldron. And we'll probably check in with Vanessa again to see if she has any more intelligence. Basically where they are in terms like...
Vanessa had been sent to gather... What was she sent to gather?
Did she head west to... I think she hit the road maybe to...
Yeah, Haynes hit the road to go bring back whoever he could. And I think Vanessa hit the road to bring back whoever she could.
I thought she went after intel. I thought she went towards Cauldron to try and get intel and like...
That sounds more likely, yeah.
And then I think Haynes went to rally troops. Mercenaries? Am I aware of any mercenaries in the area? Like, is that a thing?
They pass through town occasionally.
Okay.
Not in the castle building guide.
That can't be in DMG, can it?
I checked. I didn't see anything about ballistas.
I think there was a whole table somewhere that had construction times, or maybe it was just a note. Like maybe there's some formula for calculating construction time based off of...
Vanessa went to Thornwood to get mercenaries, it seems like.
Okay. I guess that's fine. That doesn't seem... Whatever. All right. Okay. So then I think I will plan to do some scrying today. See if I can... So I'll use my 3rd level spell slots on clairvoyance. Maybe if I can locate the camp, I could do a clairaudience and see if they have any plans. Yeah.
All right, so how are you going to find the camp?
I think I will spend a first clairvoyance doing like a bird's eye view of Cauldron and the surrounding area to see if So I guess I've never seen Cauldron before.
Correct.
It It may be worth asking Song about the location of the keep and things, because if I can scry on familiar or obvious locations. So if I can get enough of a description that it becomes obvious to me, that may work. Like if there are maps of Cauldron available. Do we have such things?
He doesn't have any maps of Cauldron. He just has the big map of Green County.
So then I think I'll figure it out for myself. So I'll start with just like a bird's eye view of Cauldron and the surrounding area. So I don't think I've ever seen Cauldron. I've heard weird rumors, but I don't know if you have a rough description of how the city's laid out. And then, can we start with that?
Sure. So you get a bird's eye view of Cauldron. You do indeed see a camp. Let's take a look at the map over here. Do you see Cauldron on this map?
Mm-hmm.
You do indeed see an encampment maybe 2 miles out of Cauldron to the south, towards the Tether Wilds.
2 miles. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I gauge a size, maybe like square footage or number of tents or?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that you
what I'm trying to get
can estimate that there's no more than 100 people, possibly less.
That's nothing. So we're talking like a dozen tents. So it's a small camp.
Yeah.
Probably with banners and.
There are surprisingly few banners. It looks pretty makeshift, actually.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of organization to it. There is one big tent that you think you've got a bird's eye view, so you can't really see what's on the banners. But there's like one big real tent with the banner on it. You can't see the banner, and then there's like lots of little tiny small tents, like individual people's tents, which are probably the mercenaries, or maybe the mercenaries are inside Cauldron and these are the foot soldiers. But it seems pretty mixed. There are, I think, 3 normal, like, large tents that would be comfortable for maybe an officer or a knight or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you got.
Or a wizard. Okay, so the spell empowers the wizard to see in his mind whatever is within sight range from the spell locale chosen. Can I move that around, or do I pick a vantage point and that's what I'm seeing for the duration of the spell?
That's what you're seeing. I think you just get one viewpoint.
All right, so I've got 8 minutes to look at the camp. Do I see any movement, like from the camp towards or from Cauldron? Like,
yes, you do. You see
caravans
oxen
coming and going.
Yeah, you see oxen pulling wagons from Cauldron towards the camp.
Okay. Can I gauge based on the traffic if like more soldiers are coming, or if this is like supplies coming to the camp? It's morning, so is the camp, like, are they taking down the tents and planning to move, or?
No one seems to be taking anything down. You do see it's 3 wagons in a row, kind of like in one caravan, heading from Cauldron to the camp. And that's all the traffic on the road, because it is morning.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see very many horses at the camp. You do see a few, but we're talking like one paddock of 5 horses or 6 horses.
Okay. Well, if this is the army they're sending, I am not concerned at all. But I guess I'll probably want to keep scrying to see if over the next couple of days, if more people show up or if they're meeting more on the road. So I spend 8 minutes scrying. I don't know if there's anything else that I would gather that's obvious from the air. I mean, I can see Cauldron as well from this high vantage. What's this? Is it a walled city?
It is unwalled.
Is there it's unwalled? There's like it's a fork, right? So there's
3 roads that lead to
Cauldron. 3 roads leading out, and the river ends at Cauldron. Is Cauldron like a high elevation?
No, there's this hot spring geyser in Cauldron that is the start of the river.
And that's in the city itself?
Yes, the city's kind of built around it. That is their focal point of their fanaticism.
Okay.
This geyser, this Cauldron.
I guess I probably can't make out individual people if I've got like a several mile view. So I can't tell if they're burning anyone alive in the geyser at the moment. Or...
No, but you do see near the end of your 8 minutes the geyser erupt. You've got a bird's eye view, so you can't get a lot of depth on it, but you do see this kind of jet of water shooting up.
Are we having audio issues? Chat saying there's a low hum. I don't know. Let us know. I can hear that. I think, is your fan going?
No, it's not. Let me try and fix that.
I wouldn't call it. No.
No, not fixed. Okay, let's
Not
try.
low hum, but I'm hearing like a high pitched. Maybe the low hum is the music.
Is that better? No, damn it. Hold on.
There's a weird high pitched, like screechy thing that I get intermittently.
Okay,
but
I'm going to change my microphone to something else.
I think it was the music. These kids. Maybe. I'm gonna. Yeah.
Trial.
Okay. Yeah, we're fine.
Trial.
All right, I'm pretty happy with the music.
All right. False alarm.
Okay. Breaking our immersion, chat, huh?
That's fine. My
immersion.
Georg's immersion is broken. His clairvoyant spell just
Shattered.
and he had to face reality once again. I do have a second clairvoyance, and I'll look inside one of the tents. You said there were several that looked like they would be holding officers. Was there like a single biggest tent, or were there just a couple of slightly larger tents?
There was a large tent, and then there were 3 other big tents.
If any of them looked particularly mystical or wizardly, I'll look in that one. Otherwise, I'll scry inside of the large tent.
Just vision scrying, right?
Yes. I don't have a clear audience today, I don't think. Let's see how many spare. I have 3. What I do? I don't have any tiny horns though, so I'd have to go make one if I want a clear audience. Maybe that's worth doing, and then scrying and then listening into the tent.
Hey.
But for now, I'll just look.
Look into the tent. You see in the tent who you presume to be Baron Steamwall. He is standing over a table that has a map of Green County on it. You see the marker of Cauldron and the marker of Misty Rapids. You see another marker for where the camp is. There are other symbols on the map, but you don't really understand what they are or recognize them. They might be villages. They might be other forces. They could be supply routes. It's not clear what the other markers on the map are, but there are about a dozen of them. You also see 3 figures standing across the table from Baron Steamwall. 2 of them are knights. 1 of them is a wizard. Or, who you presume to be the wizard.
Are any relevant physical descriptions for the wizard or for the knights? Or for Baron Steamwall, for that matter?
Take a look at what we've got for him. Cauldron. Open up Cauldron. Baron Steamwall, full name Baron Reginald Steamwall, is about 5'6", 150 something pounds, and he's in his early 60s.
Okay, so
He
we'll
seems to
probably
be-
not be charging into battle on a warhorse.
Yeah, so while you can't hear what he's saying, he seems to be like pounding the table and making a large show of anger and maybe some violence. The wizard is a female, about 6'3", 150 something pounds. A very tall female, quite thin, and she's just standing back, watching. She's middle-aged, maybe early middle-aged.
Wearing robes.
Yes.
Color?
Blue.
Okay.
And
Stat.
the two knights are both males in their 40s or 50s, like 5'10"-ish in height, average weight.
Armored at this point, or not?
Yes, they're wearing breastplates.
Okay.
But no, not like full plate mail, just breastplates on.
I guess I'll watch for the full duration. Maybe try and make some sense of what's on the table. If I can sort out like what they've got, if they've drawn any like on anything, or if they're moving the figures around. If I can gauge their plan of attack or anything just from the way they're manipulating the map.
They don't
the way
seem
it's
to be
laid
actually
out.
paying attention to the map. The map is just there. They seem to be having a discussion, and Baron Steamwall is quite angry. The map is not even being used. It's just kind of it's just there.
Okay. Well, while it's just there, I'll keep an eye on it I'll spend at least a minute or two looking at it to see if I can make any sense of what they're thinking with it. Does it have any? I mean, are there any? So the camp is on there. Do they have any? Is there just Misty Rapids, or do they have like positioning where they? No, we have key pieces.
It's got like all of Green County. So it's very similar to the map that you're looking at right now.
We're in Green County.
Yes, Green County is Thornwood, Rainwood, Misty Rapids, and Cauldron. And pretty much everything to the right of Misty Rapids, everything to the east there's no markers, there's no display, there's no positions of armies or troops or anything like that. But your 8 minutes eventually expire.
Okay. Did either of the knights have magic weapons? Would that have been apparent to me? Like,
Let's see.
from my experience, most of the magic weapons are absolutely garish in this land. So I'm expecting like coral hilts and wrapped in green silk, glowing.
The younger, shorter knight did have a spear that looked from a distance that it could be magical.
At least very ornate.
Yeah, it could just be ornate, or it could be magical.
Okay. Okay. I will step out of my room. How long would it take me to make a 100 GP small horn
Out
to
of
capture their audience with? I have no idea. Something worth 100 GP. Probably gold. 100 gold. Small horn of at least 100. What?
well, like 100 gold coins that you then probably like 50 gold coins that you forge
Yeah.
into a horn, but total work craftsmanship takes 50. Takes
Yeah.
another 50 gold. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. Okay. How much time would that take?
I think that would probably take you a couple of days, because you'd need it to be ornate, right? It needs to be a perfect horn for this spell.
It doesn't say anything. It says a small horn of at least 100 GP value.
Yeah, but
it's-
we're talking
if
100
it's
GP
50
value
50
demands
GP
high
plus
craftsmanship.
craftsmanship.
Yeah. All things magical need to be of immaculate craftsmanship,
This
unless it
isn't
says
magical.
otherwise.
This is a spell component that it actually vanishes as soon as it casts. So it just needs to be like a platonic ideal of a horn, right?
Okay, so it's not a reusable thing.
Well, if it is, that would change things. Then I would be less upset. But I think it doesn't say it. It just says the material component is a small horn of at least 100 GP value. Period. No, usually they specify if it's not consumed.
Yeah. I'd be surprised.
And if I just make it bigger out of 100 GP, and it's really crappy.
What page is that on?
190.
Well, I guess each casting of Clairaudience consumes 100 GP?
Apparently, it's weird because Clairvoyance's spell component's a little more twisted, but it's basically free.
Yeah.
And I feel like Clairvoyance is the better spell, but 2E is not necessarily balanced in the conventional sense.
Yeah.
Dome Hammer, the spell augury specifically says that the bones are not consumed in the casting. So spells that have reusable components specifically say that, typically.
Yeah, like Illusionary Script requires ink that's not less than 300 GP per usage, and it gets consumed. Mm-hmm. So if Illusionary Script requires 300 GP ink, I think Clairvoyance or Clairaudience does require 100 GP horn.
Yeah. But it's not like I'm crafting a magic item. It's like I'm crafting, I'm making a little golden horn.
I would say...
God, why are there not crafting tables somewhere in one of these books? Just to get a ballpark, I guess, like what do weapons take to craft?
They have specific times under the weaponsmithing proficiency.
So that seems like a reasonable gauge, no? Weapon construction, make 10 arrowheads a day, and then I guess most weapons take 5 to 50 days. Fair enough, maybe a couple of days, or at least to like put a mold together and then maybe I can start mass producing them. But it's a little late now, so I won't bother with the Clairaudience.
Okay.
I'll need more time. I think spending my time moving skeletons along, I think we said that would be like a week to bronze plate all the bones, something like that. I may enlist some help, and then see about getting some siege engines ready.
Right, so if you're going to be overseeing the construction of siege engines, you're not going to have too much time to be plating skeleton bones. So you might be able to teach someone else to plate the skeleton bones, but you can't really teach someone else to construct siege engines.
Yeah, I figure I'll be managing both projects, and we'll bring in the. So we'll all hang around. I mean, I guess at some point that day, laborers will probably start to filter into the keep. I assume messengers went out this morning.
Yes.
So I'll start managing that when they show up. Is Baron Song around to discuss strategy?
He is. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'll tell him that I guess I'll come out of my room that morning and I guess over breakfast, or is he in the war room?
Everyone's having a quick breakfast and then getting to work.
Okay. My lord, I have scryed upon our enemies. There are about 100 men camped a few miles south of Cauldron. In the command tent, a man I assume to be Baron Steamwald, was meeting with 2 knights and a wizard.
Do you know this wizard?
No. She was quite tall, blue-robed, but I know her neither by acquaintance or reputation.
And what of her skills? Can you tell?
I shake my head. That's the trouble with wizards. Can't really know until you've tested them.
He nods slowly.
There weren't any like spell components that I would have recognized. Like, it's not like she had I don't even know, 100 GP horn hanging off her belt or anything like that.
No.
Yeah. So I would have no idea what her power is. I do not know how many swords Cauldron has at their disposal, but 100 men hardly seems appropriate. Perhaps they are just rallying their forces, or maybe they'll meet mercenaries elsewhere.
He nods and says, 100 men may not be a lot, but we have 10.
If he has 10, so 10? What sort of podunk town is this? I could...
Plus Haynes, of course, and myself.
I could likely take this army alone. I think the wizard will be our only concern. And whatever magic
sure
lies.
You are not overestimating yourself?
Like I said, the power of a wizard is difficult to gauge until tested.
He nods slowly.
Your plan is still to have them strike first, though. I can't simply teleport into their camp and cut them to pieces. They must draw first blood.
Yes.
Do you think they will raise your villages in the west on their way through, or will they head straight for the keep? I will obviously continue to keep my eyes on them, but...
I doubt they will raise them. They might pillage them somewhat, take some supplies.
As soon as the first village is pillaged, that is an act of war, is it not?
It is, but we may wish to recall the villagers, pull them back. A pillaged village is quite worthless for some time. We take the villagers out now, take out all the stored supplies. We'll lose some time of farming, maybe lose a crop. But it takes a long time for village populations to bounce back.
Yes. Human beings have a remarkably long gestation period.
I wonder, though, it's one thing for them to come directly here, siege our keep. To sack the villages along the road.
Oh, it seems unlikely. If his true motivation is revenge for his wife's death, would he not just want to call me out? Or is he as eager for war as you are?
I believe if he sacks his villages, Countess Castilian will be obligated to join the fray. Still, better safe than sorry. We should inform the villages that they should be leaving.
I will leave this to your heralds.
Yes, we should leave it till the last minute. If they see our villages pulling back, they'll know that we know what's going on.
I imagine they will wait for more soldiers to show up. Perhaps these mercenaries we have heard tell of, unless these are the mercenaries. But an army that size will probably be able to march on Misty Rapids in 2 days, maybe 3.
Not a great distance.
No.
Can you keep an eye on them?
I'll check once again this evening, and then each morning.
Mornings are when they would break camp and move. Be the best.
All right. Well, in the meantime, I will start overseeing to our defenses. Have you sent word for the craftsmen?
I have. They should be here shortly.
Do we wish to fortify the keep, the town, the road?
There's no fortifying the town. Be abandoned. Well.
I look a bit shocked at this.
Again, I doubt he will There's no way we can defend the town. If they move to the town, unless you think we can meet them in open field. You said you're powerful enough to destroy them. Can we put you in the Temple of Purification? It has a small palisade wall.
My magic will rend these ordinary men to pieces. It is only the wizard and the knights that I need fear.
Should we station you in the town? If they skip it and come to the keep, you can work your magic and make your way back here safely?
Sure.
Good. See to the craftsman.
Okay.
Okay. I thought I had heard. Uh-oh.
So, Barre is bringing up the love potion that I received from. That was actually Carrick in the east, which is a plot point we'll be coming back to a later date, but I don't think that's relevant to this fight.
No.
So the craftsmen are on their way to the keep right now. I want to chat with the priestess and get like an outside unbiased opinion on this shit that's about to go down.
Do you want to get the 18-year-old priestess? Her opinion?
I think so. Mother Ullman is probably wiser, but I don't think I want to even open that can of worms.
All right.
I don't even know what's going on with my followers. We potentially have 1,500 meat shields we could throw at this, but I think I want to avoid excess bloodshed. I'm even a little torn, like strategically with Georg. I mean, I guess all the politics involved make it more complicated, but a Wraith Georg popping up in the middle of camp and just tearing the people to pieces would end this quickly with minimal bloodshed. I might be able to sneak into camp and talk to the wizard.
Into the enemy camp?
Into the enemy camp, yeah. Or I could send a secret message to the wizard. I don't know what I would say though. I would need like a full-on conversation to be like, yeah. All right, but I do want to head into Misty Rapids unless the craftsmen are like banging on the door to get started. I'll probably pass.
No, the messengers rode out and the craftsmen are walking back. It'll take them a while.
Yeah, so I'll hop on a real horse, and head into Misty Rapids. We had ordered a bunch of bronze for the gnolls. Did that show up yet?
Yeah, the bronze
showed up a day or two early, and so we are ready to start that.
Yes.
Okay. Will I need to get a certified proficient blacksmith to assist in that, or could it be any of the? Could Jebub handle that job? Proper instruction?
Maybe, but I think if you don't want to leave it to chance, you should get someone. Like, I would give Jebub a check. So you could have a some percent chance of doing it successfully and a some percent chance of fucking it up. So if you want guaranteed work, you're going to need a proper craftsman. Any sort of craftsman that is, skilled with their hands and knows how to take their time will be able to do it fine.
So I assume one of these random craftsmen that shows up to help with the siege engines, I can put to work bronzing bones.
Sure.
Someone ought to be qualified.
Yeah. You're going to still want to oversee their work, though.
Yes. All right, so I'll ride into Misty Rapids and think about this. It sounds like Song wants to put all of our defenses at the keep. So we'll probably set up the ballista somewhere, maybe on the roof, maybe. And then whatever other siege, if we can build We will still need to look up construction times, but I think building like a trebuchet in the yard, in the yard, whatever they call it, the courtyard,
The Bailey.
would probably be what I'll put the people to work doing. Yeah.
Okay. So you're gonna build a trebuchet.
I think. I mean, yeah, we'll have to look up the times and compare. For now, though, I think I'll head into Misty Rapids for a conversation with the priestess. And if there are any, I don't think there are errands that I needed to do. I think I have all of my spell components that I can reasonably acquire. Oh,
Mother Emma. You find her. She is the...
Why don't we get some less creepy music for a little respite? Some good idea, King Zeus. Enlarging the ballista to increase its damage.
All right. So you find Mother Emma in the main temple of town.
Okay. I step into this. I leave my horse probably at the stables down the street.
Mm-hmm. The
Damn normal horses, so unreliable. So I step in. I had visited this temple a couple of days ago, but didn't actually see the mother. I just got shooed off by one of her associates.
You do see her walking around with a priest at this point. She is 16 years old, 5'2", 140-ish pounds. Looks like she had some sort of horrible disease as a child, and she's got like pox scars all over her, giving her a ghastly appearance.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I guess I was wandering around like I was looking the place, but I was paying homage to the gods, but I was looking for her. So I see her with another priestess.
With just a priest, male priest, walking about.
I approach.
They stop their conversation. The priest steps forward, maybe a little bit resistant to your approach, and says, "Sir, this is hardly the place for you."
Are we not all children of the gods, brother? And then I give a nod to Mother Emma. Mother, I came to seek your guidance. I say now, looking at Mother Emma.
She nods.
It is a sensitive matter. Do I look back to this priest? Do I recognize him? Have I seen him around town before?
Maybe. Probably, but you don't recognize him as anything.
Mm-hmm.
Mother Emma gives you a nod and motions for you to walk beside her. And she starts walking to the outside to the front of the temple.
Okay. I walk alongside her. Do we have enough privacy that I can speak of these things without risking being overheard?
Yes. She walks to the front and then begins to lead you outside and around the side, just kind of like in a walk around the temple.
Okay. Forgive me if I cut right to the chase, but you probably know more than most how funny a thing time is. I hope we will have much more of it for philosophical musings at a later date, but these are trying times. I do not know what rumors have trickled down into the town by now, but there are dark days ahead.
I thought you were going to be blunt.
I chuckle. Well, what I'm about to tell you is of the utmost secrecy. I assume it will be apparent that you should not discuss this with others, but I needed an outside perspective. It seems there is to be war. Cauldron is rallying its banners and preparing to march east. They will be upon us Perhaps within a week, maybe sooner.
And you are telling me this?
These the blood of these men weighs heavy on my conscience.
Really?
I know it is not yet spilled, but I've seen it.
You do not strike me as the sort of man who would feel the weight of the dead around him.
I sort of pause and just look intently into her eyes as I'm looking through her. Do you presume to know me?
I just know the rumors around you. They do not speak well for you.
Looking away. Perhaps I am a monster, but I am the monster that Misty Rapids needs right now.
Perhaps.
Truth be told, I'm not sure why I am telling this to you now. Perhaps I hoped you may have some insight, some wiser, transcendent perspective, but of course that is...
I think you have come to me because you are looking for reassurance. Reassurance that what you are about to do needs to be done. Reassurance that you are more than the monster people think you are.
I nod along with this. I don't know if reassurance is the word. I know this does not need to be done. I can see an infinite number of alternate pathways that can be taken.
And
some
yet,
with less dead, some with more dead. Yet here we are in Misty Rapids, playing these games, or caught up in these games that the Lords play. I guess what I'm looking for reassurance of is that, and I lower my voice a little bit, sort of looking around to make sure there's no one overhearing. What I'm looking for reassurance of is that Baron Song is not a madman, and that I'm not foolish to play at his war games. Of course, I cannot have this crisis of conscience now, while an army bears down on Misty Rapids.
it is not Baron Song who provoked these men. This war.
No.
Whether he is a madman or not, in this matter, he seems to be innocent.
No. As usual, I will bear the burden of the guilt. Let the blood drip from my hands. This I can do for these people.
Surely you take no pleasure in this. You've never enjoyed the suffering of others.
No, of course not, but you felt it. You have the gift. Feeling of the magic coursing through your veins. It is seductive. But no. I am in control. Wrestling with these demons. As are we all.
Sure, you have many things to see to. Should I be evacuating my people?
I think word will come from Lord Song in time. We expect that the army will leave the common folk alone. But I shrug. I will defend Misty Rapids if the time comes. I don't think evacuation will be necessary. For now, you would do best to keep the specifics of this conversation to yourself.
She nods. Right now, you guys have done a full loop around the temple. She
Yes,
stops
I'll
at the
leave
front
it back.
door, gives you a look over, and then kind of does a sign of Tempos. It's an hourglass in the air with her hand, and reaches forward and touches you on the forehead with her, like, pock-scarred, semi-mutilated hand.
She touches my gray, pallid, sandpaper forehead with her,
Yeah.
cratered, poxmarked hand. Yeah.
May Tempos guide your fate, young man. She turns around and walks into the temple. And I think we should also take our break. We're going to see you guys in a few minutes on the other side. Bye-bye.